Do you know the story behind the flag of Kenya? That piece of cloth with black, red, green, and white that flies proudly in every corner of the country. Many people see it every single day, but few truly understand what it means, where it came from, or why it looks the way it does. Why does it carry weapons at its center, while most other flags in the world don't? Why those exact colors and not others? And what pain, what sacrifice, what triumph do these colors actually represent? Today, we uncover the powerful history of the Kenya national flag, a story of blood, land, pride, and peace stitched together into one unforgettable symbol. On the night of December 12th, 1963, Nairobi stood still. Crowds filled the stadium, torches burned in the dark, and the air was heavy with excitement. For decades, Kenyans had lived under the shadow of colonial rule, and now the moment had finally arrived. As the British Union Jack began to sink from its pole, silence fell over the crowd. Then, slowly, another piece of cloth rose into the night sky. One the people had never seen before, but already loved deeply. It had black, red, and green stripes, divided by thin white lines, and at its center stood a warrior's shield with two spears. The people roared. This was not just a flag, it was the symbol of a new life. At first glance, the design seemed simple, but every color and shape on the flag carried deep meaning. The black stripe at the top was bold and unshakable, standing for the Kenyan people themselves. It told the world that this land belonged to Africans, to those who had lived and struggled in Kenya for centuries. The red stripe in the middle carried a more painful story. It spoke of the blood spilled by those who resisted oppression, those who fought in forests and valleys, those who died so others could see this day of freedom. At the bottom stretched the green stripe, wide and comforting, a reminder of the fertile fields, the vast landscapes, and the natural wealth of the country. Between these stripes lay thin white lines, narrow yet powerful, whispering of peace, honesty, and unity. And then came the centerpiece, the Maasai shield and crossed spears, a firm declaration that Kenya's independence had been won with courage and would be defended with pride. But the Kenya national flag did not appear out of nowhere. Its roots went back to the political battles fought long before independence. The Kenya African National Union, better known as KANU, had been at the front line of the fight for self-rule. Their flag already carried the colors black, red, and green. When independence was achieved, it was only natural that this flag became the foundation of the new nation's identity. However, leaders realized that a national flag could not simply be a party's symbol. It needed additions to represent peace and protection. That is why the thin white stripes were introduced, and at the center, the Maasai shield with the two spears was placed. With these changes, a party flag transformed into a national treasure, and the Kenya flag, as we know it, was born. The choice of a Maasai shield was no accident. The Maasai people are widely known as warriors, respected across East Africa for their courage and traditions. The shield symbolized defense and protection, not aggression. It was designed to be red, black, and white, matching the rest of the flag, while standing proudly in the middle. Behind it, two white spears crossed each other, adding an extra layer of warning. Kenya might love peace, but it will never allow its freedom to be stolen again. In a world where most flags carried only colors and shapes, Kenya's stood out as a unique blend of heritage and strength. When the flag first flew on Independence Night, many people wept. They remembered the years of humiliation under colonial rule, the arrests, the land seizure, and the violence that had marked their struggle. They remembered the Mau Mau fighters who had died in the forests, many without ever seeing the freedom they dreamed of. As the new flag rose, their sacrifices felt honored. That piece of cloth spoke louder than words. It told them that their suffering had meaning, that their children would grow up free, and that their story would never be erased. Over time, the flag became more than just a normal national symbol. It became part of everyday life. Children learned about it in schools, standing in lines during morning assemblies as it was raised high. Soldiers saluted it, and athletes carried it when they represented the country abroad. During national holidays like Madaraka Day, Mashujaa Day, and Jamhuri Day, the flag took center stage, waving over parades and speeches. At funerals of national heroes, it was draped over coffins as a mark of honor. Slowly, the flag turned into a thread that tied Kenyans together, no matter their background or language. Unlike many flags in the world, Kenyans carried weapons. To some, this might look unusual, even threatening. But in Kenya's case, the spears and shield were never about war for war's sake. They were about dignity, defense, and readiness. They reminded the people that freedom had been costly and could never be taken for granted. In this way, the flag balanced two powerful messages: the white line calling for peace and unity, and the weapons in the center reminding everyone that peace must be protected. The proportions of the flag were carefully designed. Its length is 1.5 times its height, following the 2:3 ratio used in many national flags around the world. The stripes are equal in size, and the shield at the center is never drawn casually. It follows a strict government specifications to ensure consistency. This attention to detail ensures that wherever the flag is raised, whether in Nairobi or in a small village far from the capital, it carries the same weight, the same dignity, and the same identity. Throughout history, the flag has been guarded by law. It cannot be used carelessly, nor can it be insulted. To display it upside down is a recognized signal of distress. To misuse it for profit or decoration is considered disrespectful. These rules exist because the flag is not just a design. It is a living memory of struggle and a living promise for the future. In Kenya, respect for the flag is equal to respect for the nation itself. But perhaps what makes the Kenya flag most powerful is the way it has entered the hearts of ordinary people. During sport events, when Kenyan runners race across finish lines, they often wrap themselves in the flag, carrying it like a crown. When citizens travel abroad, the sight of the flag fills them with pride, reminding them of home. And in difficult times, when the nation faces tragedy, the flag is lowered to half-mast, uniting the people in mourning. Through triumph and sorrow alike, the flag remains a steady companion, telling Kenyans that they are part of something bigger than themselves. More than 60 years after its first rise, the Kenya national flag still carries the same energy it did on that Independence night. Its colors remain bold, its shield is still sharp, and its meaning still strong. For many, it is not just a symbol of the past, but also a guide for the future. It tells leaders to govern with honesty. It tells citizens to protect their unity. It tells the youth to be proud of who they are. And it tells the world that Kenya is a nation built on sacrifice, peace, and resilience. And so, the flag of Kenya is more than fabric and color. It is history, sacrifice, and hope stitched together. Every stripe tells a story, every white line whispers of peace, and every weapon at its center reminds us that freedom was fought for and must always be protected. From the night it first rose in 1963 to every moment it waves today, it carries the spirit of a people who refuse to kneel, a land that refuses to be stolen, and a nation that refuses to forget. Whenever you see the Kenyan flag, remember this: it is not just flying in the wind. It is speaking, reminding, and guiding. It is the soul of Kenya and of every Kenyan.